Hi, I'm Gio.
And I'm Renee, and this is Listen to Me podcast, where you get all the greatest and unqualified advice from qualified creatives.
Basically, we go through it so that you can pull the tower card and not freak out, but apply its insights to your creative pursuits. Okay, that's definitely a you joke.
Even as you were reading it, I was thinking about how you don't talk like that
I don't.
at all.
That's what I mean. I'm like, I don't sound like this. Listen.
Do you know what the tower card is, though?
Yeah, isn't it when everything is changing in your life and everything falls to shit?
Kind of, yeah. It's like a big collapse, like a big paradigm shift. It has multiple layers of meaning, like all tarot cards. But yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to write a tarot themed joke, but your delivery was amazing. So
Listen, like I said, I'm the actress. Give me a script and I can pull it off.
I love it because it's so true. Like every time we go to start, I'm just ready to go, and Gio's always like, me. Like he's ready.
I have to just take that 1 second, snap into the fact that, okay, I'm about to say things that will be recorded and heard. And in our last two-parter episodes with Dr. DiNardo, going through that and realizing all the shit I said, and I'm like, I had to call my sister and say, hey, are these sections where I talk about family shit? I played them for her and I was like, is this okay to keep in? Because I didn't want to offend. And she was like, honestly, you're being real and someone's going to get something out of this.
Yeah, I agree with Lorena.
I
Speaking
know,
of
but
which,
yes,
I can't believe she became a patron. I wanted to be like, no, keep your money.
She was like, I think I can scrounge the $15 a year. I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. And this is my sister, who's now a patron on Patreon, as well as
Kashal, who is my best emotional whale friend that I see at the dog park every week.
And based on what I've heard, Kashal, I need to give you a
I'm sure he appreciates it. He messaged me and he was like, guess what? I did a thing and it has to do with podcasting. And I was like, did you start your own podcast? And he's like, you're dumb. He didn't say that, but that was the general vibe was just like, no, I'm not starting my own podcast.
I love that.
Really
thank you so
nice.
much.
Yeah, thank you. And for anybody else who wants to check out what we're doing, you can go to patreon.com/listentomepod and see all the cool stuff we're putting up on there.
I found a new ding noise for it because you had mentioned that some of the sound bites are starting to remind you of the editing in Drag Race. I purposely
I didn't say that. Who said that?
You did. You were
you sure?
You're like, it sounds like you're inspired by Drag Race with the sound effects. And so I purposely went and switched. When we say Patreon, it usually is like a magic sound. I change it to the ding when RuPaul is promoting anything.
We need that rattlesnake noise for whenever anything weird happens.
That is honestly so funny. I think that sound is hilarious. But at this point, this is episode 47. For almost a year, we have been saying, please email us at or send in our DMs. And we've had a handful, but we've never actually had any direct DMs or emails relating to what we are asking about. We got a DM on Instagram and it was about our How to Love a Creative episode. And this is what they wrote. Just wrapped the creative dating episode and as requested to message y'all about our experiences. Ugh, LOL. I have dated a lot of different types, in quotation marks, of guys. And honestly, I say it time and time again. I don't think I could ever long-term date someone who wasn't a creative mind in some capacity, simply on the basis of feeling understood. I think everyone is so different in terms of how they date. Some are birds of a feather flock together, and some, like Renee said, opposites attract, which seems wild to me in all caps. LOL. This was a comforting listen. Loved it. Sierra.
Thank you, Sierra.
Are we getting fan mail now? This is great.
We're getting listener mail. I love it. Yes, I read this comment. This reminds me of something I read, a post about how, because one of my favorite things in books and in fan fiction and stuff is watching two people kind of bicker and be at odds with each other and it be sexual tension. But I think for some people, and especially people who are aromantic or asexual and don't really get the sexual tension piece of it, it looks so weird. And that's what Sierra's comment reminds me of is the opposites attracting. It's like, why would you be attracted to somebody who's like the opposite of you? And I don't know, man. It drives me crazy, but I love it. I
Mhm.
just love it.
I get that because I've been in that situation before,
Yeah.
but also I'm that person that I just need it to be chill, very like communicative in the sense of, okay, can we just like discuss it very calmly and then just move on? Because
Yeah, but
otherwise,
I'm not talking about arguing. Like, I'm talking about when I ask Clay for attention, he'll come and annoy me, which I hate, but I also kind of like secretly love it. And he's said to me like a few times, he's like, "You wanted my attention, so now I'm gonna annoy the shit out of you." And I'm like, "God damn you, Clay."
maybe this is why I've been single for so long, which is the
I
perfect
don't
segue
yes,
to our
yeah.
our next guest.
We can ask Fadima about it. So today we are talking to my friend Fadima, who writes under the name FK Aldon. She wrote a book called The Single Friend, which is available on Amazon. And I know from talking to her a little bit that the inspiration behind the book is because she feels spent a lot of time like being celibatary and being like the one friend in the group where like everyone else is paired off, but she is the only one who's not.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited to get into it and talk to her. She also runs a tarot channel, which is why I did that really hilariously and excessively worded tarot joke on this.
I'm excited. I was listening to my January 2021 Taroscope
Yes.
on the YouTube channel today, and I have some questions.
Yes. Just read for February, and those videos are starting to get posted as well. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I noticed that.
I am looking forward to it. Yes,
Hmm.
let's get into it. Let's go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Yay. I'm so excited.
Fadima, you and I met at work.
Yep.
And when did we start talking about writing? Do you remember? You have a better memory than I do.
I would say it took like about 2 months after we started to talk. After lunch day, we were like talking about random stuff. And I think at the time, Matthew, our colleague at the time, was like bringing up something about you writing, and you were talking about a book that I think you were pissed off about.
Yep,
And
that
I was
sounds
just
right.
like, I can connect with that. And then we start to talk about those kind of things, and the love for literature actually started from that conversation where we were just like, oh yeah, I like this. And then I was telling you at the time I was writing my technically first book, and I was just like, oh my God, this is great. I can finally speak about this with someone who understands the struggle of
Oh,
putting
yeah.
words into paper. And that's, I think, how it started. It was a very lovely summer. And of course, I was burdening your brain with the bus guy at the time as well. So
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ugh.
I cannot forget about that because I've threatened so many people about the situation is bad.
I want you to tell people about all the stuff you do because you do so much stuff, like so many
Yeah.
different creative things. So tell us a little bit about that. So for people who don't know you.
For people who don't know me, yes, I do a lot of things. I have a tarot reading channel that I had started back in end of 2019 because I was inspired by a good friend named Renee who told me, who encouraged me and said, you should have a YouTube channel because you have the energy for that and all the sassiness that going on with it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I started, it's called Scorpio Serial Tarot. And of course, it's Renee will find the name. I didn't come original with that at all. But I was just like, yeah, random
I
stuff,
just
YouTube.
helped you out. I just threw out suggestions and you
It
pitched
wasn't
me like,
suggested. You gave the name of that place, damn it. I didn't feel like you felt like, oh, maybe you should call it like this. And I was like, that's it. She's right again. And I did. I gave the name because, yeah, it's my passion of doing tarot. And also, I love high heels. And I'm a Scorpio. I do that. I do write. I have myself a podcast called Weird Millennials. I have a second YouTube channel that I just started recently. It's called Unfiltered End, where I talk about a lot of things, review from TV shows that I watch on Netflix and others, and my own very weird obsession against all Disney princesses because I have, I think, an issue with that and everything that they have built up about like femininity, how a woman should be because they grew up on like, oh my God, I want to be Snow White, but I'm black, I can't. So
yeah.
that those kind of things, those frustration. So I work on that, and I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff.
Well, you had
Kind
your
of.
nail channel too. Are you still doing nail
No,
videos?
no, I stopped that because I got very much discouraged by professionals who were like having millions of views because they were doing that in a nail salon. So I can't really meet that high standard. I have an Instagram page for that where I stopped actually even update because with this quarantine, I was not inspired to do anything anymore. So I was
Yeah.
like, that
Yeah.
one is on hold. And I have decided just to be a little bit more focused on my writing right now. So I write article on vocal. I do more investigation with that. It just seems like you just woke up on me like, yeah, you need to do this really much. Or maybe because my mom encouraged me on that way as well, that I'm just writing gonna be a serious thing for me.
Do you have anyone helping you putting all these videos together and all these like different I just think about how much time it takes to put this just the podcast together. I can't imagine you're like, I have 50 channels and 18 Instagrams. I'm like, how is this person doing all this?
Well, I am a multitasker, and in
Apparently.
everything is just that it's not just doing one thing at a time because I will lose interest really quickly. So I need to
Mm.
do 500 things at the same time. It's weird, it's crazy. Renee will tell you the same thing when we used to work together. She will come to my cube and see the chaos that it was. But I feel so good and stimulate with that. So that's why even though right now I feel like yes, I do a lot by myself, but I feel like that's the way that I really put myself into my project to just
Yes.
show how much I care. It's not just saying, yeah, I have a YouTube channel, just whatever,
Hmm.
fly away, do whatever you want. No, it's just that to me, it's always important to put myself in each of my project
Mm.
because I'm also a control freak a little bit. But
That's Geo's I can relate laugh. That's what that
Yeah. I'm the same.
yeah. So just that, and I understand that some people rather just focus on one thing, but me, I like to do a lot of things at the same
Mhm.
time because always have been like this for me. Even growing up, I will go to school, I will have a lot of extracurricular activities. In a week, my week was packed. Even now, sometime with my mom, we talk about it, and she's like, how you find even time to sleep at that time? Because I will go to school like the 8 hours. On Mondays, I will go do volleyball. After that, I will go to my reading club. After that, I will go do dance. After that, I will do paint, sing, this instrument, all that at the same time. So it always been in me. And sometimes I need to slow down as well.
Mhm.
And like you said, yes, I have a lot of things, and I feel that I need it. It's kind of like my relationship. It's just I need it. I need it. Right now, all those stuff are my boyfriends.
Mhm.
That's not good to say that.
You are my spirit sister. Seriously, I'm literally
Oh
the
my God,
same.
thank you.
No,
Gio
I'm the
was
same.
just talking about that before you came on the call when we recorded our intro.
Literally, I was saying that I'm like, I'm so A-type and I'm married to my work because especially right now with nothing going on. Before this whole situation, I was very much like, I need to create balance. I'm way too focused on work. I want to have a good work-life balance. And now that I can't even do that, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna work overtime every
Yeah.
almost as and just because I feel like I'm doing something for myself that is moving me ahead. So I feel you on
Oh
that.
no, I totally get that. Like before even I got laid off, I was just like, I need to kind of slow down with jobs because seriously, what else do I have? And this quarantine made me realize that, oh my God, I'm a workaholic. Because
Mm.
just staying at home, I was driving myself nuts. But
Mhm.
now I'm just like, yeah, I can still take time for this and that, but still a lot of ideas just keep coming out in my brain. And I need to do that because one day I know I will find that insane guy. We're gonna say, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna have kids with you, but now I'm just enjoying me. So I
Mhm.
am here with all the project that I'm doing until I have maybe the rest left of energy to focus on that guy. Good luck to him. And be like, okay, I'm gonna be a wife and try to slow down. But by the way, you know what you're dealing with here. So I'm just like, just you done, done. But
Yeah.
he will find a way to calm me down. I think. I hope he better.
Maybe you're coming into his life to spruce him up a little bit and liven him up a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
spark some stuff for him.
Spark some
Uh-huh.
joy.
Yes, Marie Kondo.
I would love that.
So I was getting to know you a little bit today and I came across your YouTube channel, which I watched the Gemini January. I like what I hear generally. I was telling Renee I have questions.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, honestly though, what drew you to tarot in the first place? Like, do you see yourself expanding Scorpio Stiletto into an individualized reading service beyond like YouTube?
Well, what started off, it was when I think all my attraction for tarot was about, I think, anything related to my family, because we are very much, I would say, connected to a lot of things. And Renee and I, we had conversation like that where I was kind of like afraid of talking about it, because for us, when you have a specific type of gift, you will be kind of like put outcasted and say that, oh, you're weirdo. If you someone does not believe what you believe, it's hard to have that kind of conversation with them and say, just be open-minded. It's not like I snoop on your life and tell you, oh, by the way, all of this is happening. Like I was telling a lot of time to Renee, I sound like a crazy person because I need to cut it out on my head. I would just like one day wake up, I was 15, and I told my mom, I need to have tarot cards. She was like, what the hell that come from? Say, I don't know, I need them. And she brought that to me. And one night she decided to do a reading for her friends. The thing is, in my family, everyone have a different way to see those kind of stuff. Anything that's related to spiritual, my mom is not tarot at all. She can see you like that here, see your picture and tell you your whole life. Trust me, it's scary, but it's also awesome. She can do that. She can read your hand. She can predict a lot of things about you. But me, my way to come is just that I have zero filter. So it would just come out like that. But what I do is just that I take tarot, it just to condense everything in it. And I'm able to focus more when I explain something to people and tell them what's going on and what I hear. Because if I don't have those things in my hand, it will go all over the place. And all your damn ancestors, I'm not saying that yours are damned, because I would just go nuts.
Honestly, not surprised if they are.
They're Italian, so of course they will be. And also, if I take example, Renee, if you're okay with that, every time that I do tarot reading for her, there's always her husband ancestor showing up and wanted to just, there's one of them who decided, technically I'm his wife, but he liked to burp in my face, that asshole. But just to get back to my channel, I still have a hard time to want to expand to the personal reading, because I feel like it can become a sort of an addiction for some people. And also, I don't want to feel like I am abusing their request or need, because they always come to you when they contact you. Is just they come to you when they are in a vulnerable moment, when there's something happen. They wanted to connect with someone to reassure them, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. It's just, also the thing is, even though the person will request, I will sometimes have nothing coming. And I don't want it to lie to them and say, oh yeah, this great thing gonna happen to you. Your husband is there, your wife is there, whatever is there. It would not be genuine. And also for us in my family, we always see that when we have this gift is to help out people, not to make money of it. That's why I rather just put that into a channel and just focus on it. And also I would be exhausted. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would be dead, because usually after reading, even though when I do a general reading on my channel, I would just go to bed. It would knock me out. I will have a hard time with that. That's why I don't feel comfortable doing the personal readings. If I'm kind of like friend with someone, it would just take me, it would just like, I need to read it for you. It's just that. But I try to not commercialize that and say, oh yeah, if you want a personal reading, I don't feel comfortable with that, because I feel like if I start to do it, I will lose that power. I will not be able to help the people with it and give the right message, because the money will be behind it. My motivation would not be the same.
That raises such a good point, that a lot of people who do use tarot and other like psychic services and stuff like that, they do it when they're in like crisis moments and things are going hard. And like Fadima's readings are no joke. Like she's read for me many, many times, and they're like mega readings. Like it's not just like, yeah, like and also something could happen to you today and you'll put on a sweater, and you know what I mean? Like it's like really in depth, and we talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of family stuff. So there's a trust element to it. Like Fadima, you are my friend and I trust you when we do the readings, and I trust that you're like gentle when you tell me things that are like emotional, because they get emotive, and I feel like we have both cried during tarot readings that we have done for each other. So it really speaks to like what an ethical person you are, that's your approach, and I just think that's commendable. And you're my
and also
friend,
we are two water signs, so of course we're gonna cry for whatever.
Yeah. So I want to talk about about The Single Friend. So The Single Friend is that the first book that you wrote, like that you finished?
Well, it's my first book that I wrote as an adult, yeah, because the first technically, like officially, Patient Zero, it was like a collection of poems that I wrote when I was 19, and it was shitty as hell because I was so in love. And also, all written in French, by the way. So it's called Confession d'un cœur, so Confession of her heart, because I was fully over the hill for that guy, and he inspired me instead of being focusing on doing my class and just have my grade right because I hate math. So I wrote that. That was my first book. And then I decided after a lot of years passed, and I didn't really think about my writing at all because since I was like, I would say 14, I started to write some stories, but I didn't really put too much thinking about on it because I was like, okay, first of all, I am dyslexic. So dyslexic people don't have this kind of need to write or read, but just after time I was like, I collect book, I love that, I just the smell of it, I'm just, oh yes. But I enjoy that because to me it's just, I would say, the way to be able to travel elsewhere, to just
Yes.
you are in a certain place, but your mind is able to go everywhere on the planet or even outside if it's sci-fi or whatever. And that's why I was like, yes, book is awesome. Single Friend is my second book, but I see that as my first official where I was putting really much thought and work and research to it and some weird out sweat because I discovered some crazy things about single life and I decided to put that in the book. That's why for me, I see that as my first book because I really cared about it.
So what's something that's interesting when you're saying, "Oh, I came across some interesting information"?
First of all, the stigma that single people always had, whatever happened in society, everyone on the planet is not just a cultural thing that is linked to Western society. A lot of minority, Latinos, Black, Asia. I discovered that in Japan, there's actually a subculture where you have those guys who just, whatever happened, they don't want it to be in a relationship. It's not that they're asexual, it's just their culture is so ingrained in them that they will even have a hard time to go talk to a woman, even invite her to have a drink, because they have always this mindset that the women have to be shy and refuse every offer that they get, and the guy have to be the one and be like, okay, if I chase her, not too hard. And what I discovered with Japanese culture about single life is really strange. But what I've seen is just that we all share that thing in common, but we keep our stigma elsewhere. Because I was sick and tired of seeing everything about Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, single people are jealous of people in relationship. No, we're not. Some of us are super happy to be single. Be
Mhm.
like, yeah, dodge a bullet over here. So you see, this kind of thing. I discovered as well that the pressure for women is not just limited to women cisgender or transgender to find someone. It's just with the evolution of human being that we are, it always been seen that you have to couple up to reproduce to just by survival. You have to have a partner because we're a social being, and it's not totally acceptable to be alone. But for where I come from, especially growing up in France, over there, you single for all your life is totally fine. You're actually doing well doing that because you choose to. But when I came in this continent, I felt like it was that culture was a setback where it's again, it get back to how a lot of those minority lived, and also in the African continent where they will look at me and also look at anybody who was like around my age and be like, how come you single? Why are you single? What's wrong with you? Like,
Mhm.
why
Mm-hmm.
you have to be with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
why,
Mhm.
why I should be the one who will have something wrong going on because I'm single? Those are the things I discover. And all the pressure that we have about marriage, those crazy stupid things, where our generation are probably the first one readjusting that norm of being by 25 or 30 being married, have a kid and a house. We are the first generation changing that definition where it's not working like in the 50s where, yeah, you get out of your parents and then you go to your husband.
Fuck, that's what my parents did in the 80s.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
1983, my parents were like 25 and they moved from their parents' house into their house. And I had
Uh-huh.
the same thing. Like with my, it's like, when are you bringing a boy home? but also don't. Like date,
Yeah,
but not until you're married. Like that was very, very much the rhetoric that
yeah,
I grew up with. And yeah, I definitely agree that being single is very stigmatized because there's just this assumption that you wouldn't be single on purpose.
The timing of this is very serendipitous. Not that this even means anything, but I found this like a meme. It's on the being single and like the perception of you feeling like, is something wrong with me? And it
yeah.
said, gay boys are like apples on trees. The best ones are at the top of the tree. The other boys don't
Yes.
want to reach for the good ones because they are afraid of falling and getting hurt. Instead, they just get the rotten apples from the ground that aren't as good, but easy. So the apples at the top think something is wrong with them when in reality they're amazing. They just
Yeah.
have to wait for the right boy to come along, the one who's brave enough to climb all the way to the top of the tree.
Yes.
That is such realness for like all
Yeah.
everybody
That's how
that
I
I
feel.
think about. Yeah, like all of my single friends, because I'm always like, that's what I hear almost overwhelmingly when I talk to my friends who are single is like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like, there is nothing wrong with you
Mhm.
at all. Like you are fantastic. Why am I friends with you if there's something wrong with me? I love you. You're great.
But it's true. It plays tricks on your mind. It's like,
Yeah.
why am I so like, why is it impossible? I'm like, and it's not like, once again, it's not an ego thing. Like we talked with Dr. Gennardo on last week's episode.
Hmm.
It's not me. It's like, but it's because of society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
society, the media, how we have been raised culturally. Like I said earlier, we are the first generation questioning all the status quo, where we are like,
Yeah.
is that really that wrong to be single? I'm
Mm,
I'm 33. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Thank God for that. Because whoa, I'm not in the mood to be a baby mama. We are the first generation where we are kind of like trying to figure out who we are first before being
yes.
involving anybody. We are the first generation also talking about mental health
Yeah.
openly, where we say there's some demons that we have to battle before deciding to be with someone, and not just bring it out. And also saying that we are the first on doing that, but we open a gate where people look maybe down on our generation, but we're the first one kind of like saying that, listen, you guys, you better sit down, because first of all, you'll have the highest rate of divorce. You stuck with someone that you hate, and you just put that anger and frustration onto them, your partner, your kids, or indulging alcohol and drugs. We are actually at least the first one being like, you know what? I'm going to work on me first before offering my heart and my life to someone else. Not
Oh,
saying that, yes, something is wrong. I don't feel like anything is wrong. It took me a long time to stop thinking that, yeah, something was wrong with me or not, because I felt like nothing was wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me. For a long time, I'm sure, Gio, you also had heard the people telling you, oh, your standards are too high. I'm like, no,
I
no.
have been not it was within so many words, but not saying like you should lower your standards, but it's like you're just picky. And I'm like, that's
oh,
because
it's the
Yeah.
same shit.
but it's like I can't just let anyone come into my life because I have just created too much of a good thing
Hmm.
to let someone fuck it up.
You know what? What I would suggest you to say, I always say that to every time that someone tell me I'm picky, I'm saying, no, I'm not picky. I'm selective. It's different.
Yes.
You are
Okay.
being
Yes.
selective because you know your value. You're
Mm.
not gonna be like, oh yeah, any random dick I take it. No, same for me. Otherwise, I will be ho ho, like
Girl,
a big asshole.
girl,
I'm not in that mood.
that's that I've been new that storyline.
I let Fatima, I cannot believe that you were like, I don't know if this is gonna like I'm a little bit nervous. Like you are fucking on here and I'm like, why am I co-hosting this podcast? Like Gio
I know.
needs to replace me with Fatima. She's fucking amazing.
No,
Like
no.
No,
Oh
no.
God, no. No, I'm a guest though. I'm just good.
you're doing amazing. Like I'm
Fatima's
fucking
like,
sitting here riveted.
she's like, I don't need another project. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
No, it's fine. I enjoy that because podcast, that's the thing that I like. It's just that it create conversations,
Mhm.
regardless of what it is or with who. It just, you talking about a subject that I'm very, very close to it because it hit home. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So because I noticed, I was just one day, oh my God, I am in all group friends that I had since I was 15. I always been the one who always been the single the longest. And I was like, damn. I don't. First, I thought that it was bad, and then after that, I turned it out to So what? I'm
Yeah.
sure that because I had a lot of guy friends and they were like, yeah, you're very specific with what you want. And years later, they're like, I had a crush on you. I was like, bitch, I was waiting for you to ask me out
Yeah.
because they was just intimidated about all of this, all of
See,
this.
it's not just Japanese men.
No,
It's all men.
So maybe let's talk about weird millennials a little bit. Like, what
yeah.
was the inspiration behind starting Weird Millennials?
Is actually one of my friends, one of the first people that I met when I moved in Edmonton. And he was like, he moved actually in the East Coast now. He live in Ontario, and he was talking about one day we have a conversation, very long one. And it's like, you know what, you have the personality to have a podcast. I was like, don't tempt me. It's like, yeah, you will be able to talk about everything because most of the time when we have a conversation on the phone, we talk about everything, but our conversation focus more about our relationship because he's a little bit younger than me, and sometimes he just like to have my advice or my woman point of view, but I would not trust myself with that. But still, it's just because he liked the fact that I am so 100% raw with him. I have zero filter with that, not trying to sugarcoat and say, yeah, she doesn't deserve you. I'm like, you were dumb. You choose that girl.
Yeah.
So that's what he liked. And I was just like, okay. I was thinking about it. And then one day I was just at my apartment. I was just, this quarantine just drive me nuts. And I will see a lot of things on YouTube that I wanted also to react, but I am not a type of go and comment and be very negative, just to destroy the person because otherwise you don't agree, just get out.
Hmm.
That's what I
Yeah.
did. And I
Absolutely.
created,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna create my own podcast. Actually, I'm gonna do that. We'll see how that goes. And I decided to create with millennials, and even the name came out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, I'm weird. I'm millennial. Whatever.
But it makes total sense because you were just talking about how this generation, like the millennials, we are seeing like that sea change or that mentality shift toward different things. So, talk a little bit about what things do you take apart on your podcast? Because you like to think about stuff analytically, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what you're doing on the podcast.
My latest episode was something subject that it was close to my heart because I would say that I live it, but also it was helping me discovering that. I was talking about colorism into the Black culture and the hypocrisy of Black people about that, and how we always like put on a high standard. Any woman was very light skinned on the top shelf and say that, oh yeah, they're the best, anything like the Apple situation. It's just that they're the best. You have to take them, and the dark skin are being mocked and salted, all that by the same people who say that, oh, support me if I am in trouble. I'm like, man, we tired.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
heard a lot of other African American talking about it. Me, I experience it within my own family because sometimes I would talk with them through webcam. Just because the light is good, my skin look great. They're like, oh my god, you bleach. I'm like, hell no, no.
First of all, your skin is amazing. I just want to
Thank
Hmm.
say
you.
that.
That's also
Yeah.
the light
No, 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 no.
in real
Because
life.
I spend time with you in real life. Yes, and your skin is beautiful.
Thank you.
But
But I was just talking about that part and also what I was experienced within my family where I was born light skinned. When I was born as a baby, people thought that my dad was white, which was not the case. The guy is also black as a charcoal. He's black. But I came
Hmm.
out light skinned and they were like, oh yeah, she must be mixed. And also I have light, my hair color is not black either. It's like a very reddy, kind of reddish. I'm a black ginger girl. When I was a
Hmm.
kid, my hair was ginger, and also I don't have the texture that they see in Black people. But even that, they will always tell me apart and kind of like saying that I'm bleaching. I try to be more white. I'm just like, no, I'm not. Here, there's one thing also very important to take consideration of is winter.
yeah.
With minus fucking 22, you're not gonna be dark. Not everybody. It's just your melanin not gonna be that solid. Mine is not. I get dark in the summer. I get lighter in the winter. That's it. But they're
Hmm.
still getting that, and I felt like for a long moment I didn't feel comfortable with that because I didn't like the fact that they will always bring it up because it made me feel like an outsider, an outcast, and say that,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this one so wanted to look like those white people. I live with them. I'm not trying to blend in.
And you can't fucking win. It's like you're light and that's a good thing, but you're light and you're trying too hard to be light. Like, and
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was talking about that and also the preferences, the difference between preference and fetish, where
Right.
for a long time I had also a lot of my black friends was like, oh yeah, you never date black guy, you just like white men. I'm just No, dude, you are my type. I don't care what is your race. Can I say it, Renee? You know exactly what I'm gonna say.
Say it.
Yes, go ahead.
If I feel like I want to sit on your face, you're my type. That's it.
Yes.
That's
I
it. I
knew
don't care
Gio
if
was gonna
you.
be about this.
Yes,
I-
you. That's why I was like, can I say it?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you can. Absolutely.
Thank you. Because I feel like if sexually, I'm not drawn to you and say that, yeah, I need to sit on your face. You're not my type.
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
care about your skin color at all. So a lot of time people's like, oh yeah, I prefer white men. But the thing is, yes, most of the guys that I have dated are white, but it doesn't mean that if you tell me choose exactly which one, if you put every guy of each race and they're all hot and they have my criteria of a 6 foot tall, dimples, nice ass, I'm on it. If you don't have that nice bum, I'm not there. I don't
You
care
and
about your
Gio
skin
have
tone
the
of that.
same list. Like
What? I swear to God, I think you may be my spirit animal. You and I, we connect here. I feel it too hard.
God. Yeah, let's zip it up because we got to go into the next meeting. But this
Okay.
is just so fun. I
We're-
don't want
we're-
to stop.
We're picking up on this when we.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to go back exactly to where we just left off.
Okay.
I am exactly the same.
Yeah.
My criteria is, are you hot? And hot is not specific to me. It could be any assortment of styles and looks and backgrounds and whatever. I really am like an equal opportunist when it comes to men. My only criteria is what's going on up
Yeah.
here and what's in here. I don't give a shit about the rest. If you're hot to me, any variation is good, which you would think you're casting a wide net.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know. Like,
Exactly. Like seriously, you and I, we are really the same. Like the look is important, but here and here,
Mhm.
very much important. If
Yeah,
you're an
hit him hard.
asshole, it's gonna make you ugly. That's it
Yeah.
for me. If you're a dick to people, you're gonna be no. You can be the hottest guy on the planet, and if you're an asshole, it's gonna make you ugly. So then I would not want to sit on your face. But if you're someone who have a very gentle heart and also are able to have a stimulating conversation, someone who just get it, my weird ass sense of humor, and able also to
Oh,
get
yeah.
like to something very deep, I'll be like, oh my God, my pants is soaked. Let's go do this because I think it's very turn on and it's very sexy. A man who's a smart, someone who's smart is very sexy. It's not just the physical. Well, kind of, it helps a lot.
It helps, yeah.
But-
A
Yeah.
lot.
Smart and hot, I think, are both relative terms in that way, right? Because like I'd have this conversation with Clay all the time because he's not smart in the way that I'm smart. He's not an academic thinker, but goddamn, he is smart. And when
Mhm.
I talk to him and I hear him take apart things and like tell me his point of view and the way he looks at stuff, that is sexy to me. Like I
Yeah.
think it's very attractive when somebody can articulate kind of what they got going on up in there and you connect in that way and you feel seen with that person.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I'm just like, yeah, I make zero discrimination on that. And the person have to be open-minded as well, because
Mhm.
I have a background where I grew up in a very, I would say, eclectic background. My aunt, the one who raised me from 0 to 8, she had a bar, but in my home country, it's kind of like a mix with the brothel kind of, where you will have different type of people, even those who have been rejected by the society was there. And then when my mom came take me back, and then we went to France, I grew up in a gay community, so I was used to everything super fabulous and colorful, and they told me how to wear heels, and I will always be thankful for that because I know how to do that.
For your
Mhm.
shoe obsession.
Hey, it's not an obsession. It's a passion. It's different.
It's an
Yeah,
appreciation.
obsession.
She's
Yeah.
wordsmithing.
Oh,
She's wordsmithing.
I love shoes.
I know.
I love shoes. Just think about it. Oh, I'm happy with that. So yeah, the guy have to deal with it. Also, you have to have good taste in shoes, of course, because if he says like, oh, I don't like girls in high heels, get the fuck out. Don't talk like that about my babies.
He has to be secure because sometimes think about it. If you're a woman who likes to wear, or anybody who likes to wear heels, and it'll make you taller
Mhm.
than said love interest. Two of my friends, they got married and out of shoes, like they're the same height. In heels, she is obviously taller than him. And for their wedding, she wore heels. She was like, I'm wearing heels. It's my wedding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he was like, whatever. He's like, I got a tall ass lady. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called confidence. It's
Mhm.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful to see that. But of course, I'm not that tall. I'm 5'3".
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
You
So
are
you're
not that short.
yeah, that's what the nurse said when she took my measurement. I was so disappointed. I was sure I
What?
was 5'6".
Oh, you're one of those
it's all
people
that
with a tall
personality.
personality. Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
shrunk over time, but yeah, I have a lot of personality. I tell you, I grew up in something. You meet my mom, you understand.
Oh, one day I'm gonna meet your mom.
I talked to her about you a lot, and she's like, "Really, you're not tired of talk about your friend like that?" I'm like, I talk about all my friends like that. They're all my closest friends, so I'm gonna tell you what's going on. And she cool with that. There's just 5 people that always talk to my mom every time. My two besties, Michelle and Tony. My other friend Joan, Renee is part of it, and also another one. He is, like I said, that he's my adopted brother. Either he want it or not, he's my brother. He cannot
Mhm.
negotiate that. I said that you type with me, you done. It's like okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand that. I want to talk about vocal media. So, can you tell me a little bit about what your experience writing on vocal media has been and the kind of things that you've written about?
The thing is, I discovered that on Instagram. It was one of those ads that was showing and said, "Oh, you can make this with that." And I was just curious a little bit. I went on the website, not really thinking about the money side of it. And I look at all the things that they were putting there, and I was just, that seemed interesting. I have also stuff to talk about that is not absolutely related to what I'm writing. And also, I felt like it would help me develop my skills a little bit more.
Mhm.
So I wrote my first article on December 31st, 2020, because I was sick and tired of all those damn Happy New Year, New Me. I was like, no, no, no. New Year, same as of your ass. Stop it. I'm gonna lose 30 pounds by this. It's like, oh, stop lying to yourself. You didn't see how a gym looked like in a decade. So that's kind of stuff where I was just like, I'm gonna talk about that, my frustration with that. That was the first article that I wrote there, when I was talking about order resolution and how people put this type of pressure on themselves just to meet that, because it's ridiculous. You don't need to lose 10 pounds by January 31st. That's ridiculous. In 1 month, if you never have like be into working out, don't force yourself on something you would never do.
Yeah.
That's all I was like thinking about when I was looking at that. So I wrote an article about it, and then after that I wrote a second thing for them, but it was more of a story where I was able to kind of like just let my imagination take me whatever. And I decided to take a twist on the Little Mermaid, because I also hate that bitch with her tail. And and I decided to kind of like put a twist on it, where she's not just like that stupid ass half fish girl who fall in love with a dumbass human who is not smart enough to say, write down your name, by the way, instead of, oh, I like you like a sister. Fuck yourself. So I kind of like change a little bit the story, where it would imply put a lot of different character, and actually the focus would not be on the Little Mermaid herself or the prince, but the third character will fall in love with the prince and will have a whole life with him, not knowing that this dumbass is in love with a half fish woman. That was the part of what I'm doing on vocal, and I am planning to write another article, but I don't know exactly what is going to be exactly, because I kind of like set myself, I'm going to do that by Saturday. So I will see what it's going to be, but probably something about it, say that take it slow, or depending of one of the voices will tell me.
Isn't that the truth?
Oh my God, there's too many people up here. Sometimes it's just overwhelming.
The cacophony of voices.
Oh, it's terrible, but it's okay. They kind of like get along someday when they want to gang up on me, but it works.
I always joke that for me, I'll lump all the voices together and I just call them Carl. Like, listen,
Nice.
Carl. Like, shut the fuck up, Carl. I'm trying to just be zen right now. You're getting in the way of that.
I like it. I would like to do that, but unfortunately, it's not always the case, because they also, as you see,
Mm,
have a lot of fucking personality. Like,
mhm,
bitch, excuse you, why are you trying to do that? I'm not going there. This
mm.
way. Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. But it's fine. We all cool out here. It's kumbaya some days.
All alone with all myselves.
The perk of living by yourself with no roommate, with nobody.
Once again, I know exactly where you're coming from. Like I'm in the same. It's like you're speaking to my soul.
Look, Renee know that I have a deep connection with Geminis. It's a thing.
I heard today. I heard that today in that video. You went on about the Geminis. I was like, in my notes about you, tarot, and then in brackets, Scorpio stiletto tarot, loves Gemini, smile emoji. I'm reading it right now.
I think I have just that strong thing. Whatever happened, my aunt, the one who was like the closest to my mom, is a Gemini. And I'm really close to her. Something happened to her, I will be pissed. I don't know. I will burn down this planet if anyone just trying to say trash about her. She's the only one who can just say shit about me. I have to be the only one be mad about her. Nobody have to defend me. My best friend Tony is a Gemini. My rising is a Gemini. All the guys that I wanted to fuck on this planet are Gemini as well. I feel like I just have a thing for Geminis. And trust me, you are probably the best sign ever, personally for me. And I'm very biased on that.
From the mouth of angels. I agree with you.
Yeah.
We are wild though. Talk about Gemini men.
I love it.
I know. One of my exes is a Gemini, but the problem sometimes I feel like he still can't get enough of me, and he's married. And I don't want to do that. I have way too much respect, and also I have my boundaries. Renee know that the guy that's the buzz guy that I feel like I cannot just get over him. He's a Gemini, and it's not just that physically he was turning me on, because like for months I was like, I fucking that guy, and he was doing the same. And after that we started to talk, and I was like, before doing that I was sure, it's like, we're not gonna have that much in common. He seems like the dude would like to just pump iron and just be airhead stupid. And I saw him read 1984. I was like, oh my god, this is so hot now. And we start to talk, same way to see things, same energy, same connection with books and crazy stuff that we read. I was just like, oh my god, marry me. I can give you 30 babies right now. I don't care. I'll take it.
One day, the right Gemini.
If you have that many kids, you just need to make sure you train them so that they can edit your videos, edit your podcast.
Yes.
When we're
nails.
Yeah,
I would not trust them. Like, really, I know that I'm weird and crazy and I like to do a lot of things, but I wouldn't even trust my own kids. Even to just coming at this world, I would be like, my god, if you survive over 5 years old and you still have all your shit together without a therapist, wow, it's not me. Thank you, dad.
Literally my argument for not having a child right now. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm same. I'm like, let me just not like inflict my trauma on somebody else or like make it into a survival experiment for them.
Yeah. I know. Honestly. But the crazy thing, I raised my sister, right? And she
well, you already have your mom quota, I feel like, with that.
Yeah, well, even before that, because since I was 5 years old, I've been taking care of other people babies and they turned out pretty okay. So I'm just like, maybe I'm not that bad. But apparently my sister is picking up a lot of things that I was doing as a kid. And my mom is like, yeah, I don't know, but I can't do this. I'm just like, oh my God, I have to take out that distance every time something happened. My sister called me first before calling my mom. Just like, I'm not your mother, I'm your sister.
Oh, I definitely hear that because that's my experience right now. When shit hits the fan, hi, I'm the one who gets the phone call. You know that.
You give me the vibe that you're going to be a good mom. I know that if I push out a human of my vagina one day and it's like about not acting up right, I will get that kid straight to your house and say, you will see Aunt Renee, she's going to give you shit. And I want you to give them shit.
I'm a like, terrifying aunt and terrifying mom. Like, it's something in my voice. It's very frightening to be.
I love it. That's what I was thinking as well. If I have a dog, I will also do the same thing. I will get that to you. You will be able to like, hey, and you would get it. I have that authority, but also I like to see someone else having the same kind of like stamina with anything that we'll have as a kid, dog, whatever. Not cats, because I'm not a cat person. That's the only thing.
Writing right now. I know you're writing because we are part of the same writing group / book club as well. So, what are you working on and when are you hoping to have it finished?
Ooh, I'm
Tell
working
me
on.
everything. I love
Okay.
talking about works in progress.
I can give you the title of the book actually because I already have the idea. It's
Nice.
called A Sympathy from the Devil. I would not say mystery. It's a thriller. It's an investigation type of story with two cops investigating some very weird ass murders and some secret about a politician. It's kind of like a convolute mix up of serial killer and some messed up secret of rich people, the people of the above, and also the racial issue, everything, and the rape culture as well will be
Mhm.
included in it. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm still writing onto the first chapter. I want it to be a kind of thick book, and also I want it to be a slow burn. I have the overview vision of it, but the details is where sometimes I just bucking my head. I'm just like, I want to die. Why you don't come? But right now I'm inspired with a lot of different situations, different part of the story, because I was able to kind of map it out where I wanted
Yes.
to go and how it had to be. So I hope I will be able to reach like the manuscript complete like around the summer, like end of June. So
Hmm.
then after that, have someone to read it, edit it, or whatever, just to make it make sense of all the crazy stuff that we'll put there and the graphic stuff that we'll write in there. And maybe hopefully have it published by the end of the year. Knock on wood that I would not just keep procrastinating. That would be great. Yeah.
Are you going to self publish again?
I think yes, but it's just because I don't know that much people in the traditional publication, and I, with all the our book reading club that we have, I heard way too much story where great story have been skipped because the regular publisher are just like, yeah, no, we need the same formula again and again, and I
Yeah.
want to be able to just, if I am the one being able to connect directly with the reader, I want to do that. I want to take that opportunity. I know it's a lot of work, but that's what I'm willing to take as a risk. And I'm always the type of person who don't like to be told what to do in general. So
Yep.
yeah, I will have a hard time with that. And if someone is like, no, your end is shitty, I'm like, no, it's true. I follow my guts because what I'm writing is the type of book that I want to read. So
Mm.
if
Yes.
I know that I'm gonna like it, I know that there's a lot of other people who are gonna like it too, because it's not like you say, oh yeah, we're gonna create a burger. Nobody gonna eat burgers, and it's like, no, liar. There's a billion people eat that every 5 seconds. So it will be the same thing with this story. I'm sure. I'm confident about that book. I know that a lot of people will read it. I'm very ambitious as well.
It's so funny. There's like six different things that you said that I wanted to talk about. Like, one of them
Yeah.
is that I'm like the opposite. The way that I write is I get super close to the details and I get stuck in there and I can't like
Mhm.
pull myself out. So I'm like envious of your problem. Like that you are like, oh, I know too much about like the whole story from start to finish and I need help
Yeah.
with the details. I'm like, God damn it, I wish that was me. I do think that one of the things that you said speaks to the importance of having writer community. And it was something that I didn't know either. And all of the writers I talk to have such similar stories. They start out writing stuff when they're young, and then
Mhm.
they get this idea in their head that they're like, yeah, this isn't what you do like for reals or for money
Yeah.
or whatever. So I'm just going to put it aside. And then you start meeting people as an adult who like also really love to read and really still have that spark, and it kind of like rekindles it for you, right? But that was
Yeah.
a game changer for me, was coming into, and I hope it will be for you as well. It's kind of why I wanted you to be part of like the book club and the writing group, is
Yeah.
because coming into these community spaces with other writers and seeing the total range of like different ways that people go about things like self-publishing, indie publishing, small printing press, trad pubs, whatever, and
Mhm.
understanding more about how the publishing industry works, because it's so opaque. There's so little information about it.
Yeah.
And also understanding like how much time it takes, because I never knew that either. Like I never knew how long it took to like put your manuscript out, decide whether you want to shop it to agents or publishers, and then wait even after an agent has picked it up or after a publisher has picked it up to see, maybe another couple few years until it's published, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that information isn't readily available. And the best thing we can do as creatives is fucking talk to other people in our field to find out what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Exactly.
I just really wanted to drive that point.
Excellent. That was well put together. It's exactly that. You and I, like you said, we have both like the opposite problem of writing. But the crazy thing is just for me, for over the years, it's not just about finding the right place to write. It's just for a long time I've been discouraged because of my own situation, like my reading difficulties and all that. Because people think, oh yeah, dyslexia is nothing, but a shitload of problem.
Yeah.
Because when you are reading something, you're sure that you're seeing that because your brain is actually saying, no, 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 that's exactly that. Or sometimes when I will write. So for a long time, I was carrying that on myself and be like, I don't trust myself for writing a story because they will read that and it would not make sense. And who will want to read anything written by someone who's dyslexic or someone who had a hard time to learn or this or didn't even do literature education at all those things, me, my love for reading and books and stories, I did it myself. I didn't have like a specific curriculum or have education for that. I did it myself. So it's self-taught because I come from a culture where we are more about oral stories, where you tell story every time. And I always enjoyed that because it felt like the person didn't have anything in front of them. They have everything memorized and they tell you some very amazing legends, and you also go with them, and it's your imagination doing the rest of the work. So for me, I was like, I'm going to sometime I will just have an idea and say I'm going to write it down and just like this. The first time I was discouraged of to write, it was when I had my first ever idea to write a story. It was a sort of a YA because I have an obsession with angels, and I'm gonna write a badass story with angels in there, but it would not be something religious. And someone would just like, that's a stupid idea. Nobody gonna read that. Like
Mhm.
angels will kind of have like human like flaws, yeah, flaws and qualities. Who will fight and also have feelings, and they are not asexual. They'll like look at me. No, it's not gonna work. Nobody gonna want to hear about them. Like, okay, so just sit down elsewhere. So
That's
that was
such
my thing.
bullshit. Like, don't we have 18 seasons of the television show Supernatural that directly contradict the
15.
fact?
No,
My mistake.
no. The show it was after. It started after when I had the idea. It was back in 2003, 2002 that I was writing those tiny stories because I was just like, I like just weird human being with, even though I hate birds, with freaking wings. Weird.
But not with fins.
Oh yeah, fuck that ass. I can't do that. Half
No,
fish,
but
half
that's
human.
such
No.
you're literally describing like the key ingredients for what a writer is, right?
Mhm.
It's somebody who gets grabbed by a story idea and can't let it go, and it's somebody who also loves like hearing stories, like loves receiving stories. And I have to fucking like blow you up a little bit more because not only you're working with dyslexia, but also English is like your fucking third language.
Yeah,
So the fact that you're writing in not your native language, like that takes even more thought behind it because it's not always obvious how you want to translate. Like, I think that people who don't speak another language don't understand this. When you think in a certain language, you think differently.
Mhm.
yeah,
Then it's not equal and it's not the same across every single language. Like it's different in every language, right? So
yeah.
you have to translate your thoughts like multiple times to get them into English.
Exactly. And also remember that when I wrote Single Friend, my English was less good as now. So
Yeah.
I was doing a tremendous effort to not have a French word come out of it. I was just like, oh my God, okay, think. And then I go, oh, okay, spell it differently, work on it. And now it just became more and more. And also I absorb more story that I read in English,
Yeah.
and I'm able to keep some word just to remember how it goes. The only thing that I still have issue with is then and then, like the THEN and THAN.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why?
There are so many like people who only speak English who have issues with those. Like it's
Oh,
really you're not alone at all.
When I see someone writing theirs not in the right way, I get pissed. And then I'm like, hey, this is not even my first language, you asshole.
This is the thing, man. Like grammar Nazism is a real I think it's a side effect of the fact that English is like syntax and grammar rules are so fucking arbitrary in so many
Yeah.
ways that it's like you have to learn them and then you get mad because like you see somebody else who hasn't learned them and you're like, God damn it, I had to learn this stupid bullshit, so you should
Yeah.
have to know it too. Like, you know what
Just
I mean?
Yeah.
apply it. Just apply it.
It's hard though because it's so inconsistent. Let's get to the last question. This is Gio's question, so maybe I'll let him ask it because this is
Okay.
his favorite.
I do enjoy this question. If you were to look back at the trajectory of all of the creative pursuits that you've been able to dabble in over the years
Mhm.
and see a common theme between them all, what would it be?
The common theme is just that I feel like I wanted to always stand out,
Yeah.
not just to follow like a specific way to do things. Even when I have my moment where I was designing dresses, I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be at the time before that we have more inclusive in that world. I wanted to be the first African designer to have a Paris runway show. I wanted to always come out as she is unique and she stand out. That was the thing that I was with everything that I created. I wanted people to just look at me and be like, yeah, if she can do it, I can. I can show how unique I am, how different I am, and that being different is not a bad thing. It's the opposite. It's the best thing that you can be. Be an individual is the best thing that you can be. You don't want to be a sheep.
Yeah.
You rather be like they call either the black sheep. I don't know why they always go with the color black, but I mean it goes with everything. I get that. It's a compliment.
That's
So
Gio's entire wardrobe philosophy.
oh hell yes. Mine
Literally.
too. It's just today that I'm wearing colors, normally all black. But it's just saying that if anything, that someone make you feel like you're outsider, be proud of it because
Mhm.
they it mean that they don't have their own identity and you do. You were lucky enough to identify that. You were lucky enough to recognize that how unique you are and not letting other people define you because they cannot understand who you are. And I would thank my mom for that because she always made me embrace the uniqueness that I am, and also how awkward I was as a kid, make me always speak out my truth, and just toughen me up. My whole family, because we are the type of not giving any shit if your feelings are hurt. We gonna just tell you the thing how it is. So that's
Mhm.
the
It's
thing
like
that
Gio's family, exactly.
oh, I think
Oh
you're
yeah.
my twin. You're my lost twin. I don't get it.
Mhm.
How it's possible we never met until today?
I
Hey.
made it happen.
Yeah.
Hello.
I just want to like circle back because I was listening to everything that you were saying earlier and I think that that tracks so hard across all of the different things you've done because you have this curiosity and you have this inquisitiveness where you're like, why are things like this? Who says that they have to be like this? And what does it mean if I'm on the outside of that? Like if I'm kind of standing back from it and I don't fit in, and what does it mean about me? And that's such, it connects so much to that idea of like not being led like a sheep and really dictating the terms of your own life because we only
Yeah,
get one kick at the can here. So why not make it a good one, right?
exactly. Also, I was using that a lot to give that example to my sister because I told you that many times that she is also going through the same similar stigma that I went through. But the difference is she has me
Yeah.
where I can tell her, you know what? If they think that you're weird, well, be more weird. Throw
Yeah.
them the dirt in the face and say, yes, I'm weird. So what? I didn't have that because I was by myself. I have to grow my thick skin by myself. But she has me. And I want her to just embrace the uniqueness that she is. So then she will never feel ashamed of who she is. That's why I always keep on praising my mom because we are lucky to have her. She's the type of mom that she would not care whatever you are, she's gonna accept you. That's how she is. And I want also to reproduce this kind of behavior where you don't have to let anybody else define you who you are. You're the only one. You're the one living in your skin. Don't let other people tell you whatever you have to do with your life. You wake up
Mhm.
every day in your skin, not theirs, and they're not you. They can say whatever they want. You just have to be bulletproof of their word. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
too harsh. Well, don't listen to me. If I'm too harsh, it means that you're not able to handle the truth. I feel like people who are friends with me, they know exactly what to expect with me, and I know exactly what to give them and how that relationship gonna grow. I don't have time to pretend. Nobody should have time to pretend or just waste them time to be fake.
Preach.
100%.
100%.
100%.
I just can't do it anymore. If I have to
Yeah.
pretend around you, that means you are not going to be part of my life. We're
Yeah,
done.
you just like, oh my God, like my role model, Nicole Byer, says all the time, that's not for me. And that's okay. If I'm not for you and you're not for me, then that's okay. Sometimes it hurts to miss that connection, but it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just make a new connection on a podcast. You
See,
never
I
know.
did that.
I
I
love
did that.
it.
You know what? In a certain way, I kind of knew that I'm gonna love you, Gio. I kind of knew that it would happen because I was just like, I know me, and knowing Renee and everything she told me about you, I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
him and I were gonna be thick and thieves. We're gonna like this. Oh yes,
I'll
I
make sure to
fucking
follow
knew
you
it.
on all 100 of your accounts.
thank you.
Before we
Huh?
jump off,
Yeah.
where can people find you online if they want to connect with you?
Well, I would suggest them to go to my writer Instagram, FK Aldon. So
Mm-hmm.
it's on Instagram. They can also get to my YouTube channels. The first one, Scorpio Stiletto Tarot. The second one, Unfiltered End. My podcast with millennials. Do I have anything else? I don't know. Oh God, I
I
don't
think
remember.
that's it. And then
Yeah,
you can find this single friend on Amazon.com.
yeah, yeah. The single friend is still available on Amazon. And if you're one of the two people who are gonna buy it, I will appreciate it. I would not care. Like really, it's been out since 2018. I don't mind that people will shit on it. So a review would be cool, even though so then it would just give me tools to write better if I have to rewrite again that story of the single friend because my situation is no, it's still the same. But the difference is just that now I don't care if people's like, but you're single. But I'm fabulous, man.
It's true.
I'm
Fucking
single, I'm
right.
fabulous. And if you're not trying to want this, is something wrong with you. That's all. That's how I just say that.
We met at a great time because I'm very much embodying that energy these days, and so
Yeah.
it's nice to have it reflected back at me.
This makes
You
me
have
so
to.
happy.
You have to because, like I said, your true best friend, beside like people that you care about, is yourself. If you don't hype yourself up, who's gonna do that in your darkest moment? You are the only one you can trust.
Hmm.
I know that a lot
Oh,
of people, especially during this pandemic, have been really hard mentally.
Hmm.
Me, you know what I did for this time? I thought I would be hard, depressed, and very sad. I was dancing half naked in my apartment because I was like, I'm lucky I have this place. I'm lucky I'm healthy. I'm good. And damn, I look good. I was just dancing along just to be fine and say, you know what? The guy who's going to end up with me is the guy who deserves me, the whole me, not just the 50% or 30%, the 175% of me. And he will
Hmm.
be totally fine with that. He will even assume that he's lucky or not. He better say that he's lucky to have me. And it will be vice versa because, of course, I have to also show some tiny love.
Right?
Yeah.
Fatima, I'm going to show you big love because I fucking love you. And I'm so glad you came on our podcast. This was
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah,
I love
seriously.
you guys. Thank you very much for having me. It was so fun.
I
Yay.
agree. Thank
All
you.
right. Talk to you another time. See ya. Bye.
Absolutely.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.
night.
That was amazing.
I know. I know. I just like, I was so happy when she asked me to be on. I was like, fuck yes, let's do this.
The fact that she asked, she's probably, I think she's the first person to ask to be on, right?
No,
Oh,
I've
no.
had quite a few people ask me to come on, which is really nice because I've said like to my friends and stuff, I'm like, I want to blow you up, come on the podcast, like let's do this, and that makes me really happy because especially like my friends who are women or like more femme identified, I think that they struggle more to like blow themselves up in that way and go, hey, I deserve like a spot and I want to speak to the stuff that I do. And it makes me happy to see that they're stepping into that and being like, hey, I do have something to share and I am worth it. It warms the cockles of my cold dead heart, you know, as we say. So thanks for listening to me.
And to me,
And if you have any burning questions or you want to DM us just so that we read what you wrote on the show, please do that. You can reach us at listentomepodcast@gmail.com or direct message us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
did you know, Renee, that Listen to Me has a Patreon?
What?
That's right. You can head over to patreon.com/listentomepod and check out all the excellent things that we have going on over there.
Yes. And music in this episode is graciously provided by audionautics.com.
Goodbye.
Now you're dabbing.